What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite patterns of the year, the late summer shallow bass bite. Fish are moving in, the water is heating up, so let's talk about the shallow water bass bite in the late summer and how we're going to fish that. Let's go! Go! Another monster! There we go! So in the late summer, when the water's up in the 80s into the 90s in some places, fish are going to pull out from those deeper haunts and they're going to move up shallow. And they do this because there's more oxygen up shallow than there is out deep. The thermocline messes with them, baitfish mess with them, but by and large, fish are going to pull shallow. And one of my favorite bites this time of the year is the fluke style, worm style, weightless reaction bite, just like in that late spring into pre-spawn time period. It mirrors that bite. So what we're looking for here is shallow fish that are really wary and not really going to bite a lot of power presentations. They will bite the fluke Texas rigged or nose hook. They will bite the Rattleworm Texas rigged or nose hook. So let's dive underwater, check out some of these baits and see how I'm fishing for these shallow, spooky, skittish fish. So first up here we have the Rattleworm 4.5 on a nose hook rig, and that nose hook literally slows everything down. It's super quick and responsive when you twitch it, but when it's falling, it's slow and neutral, and that's really what you want in hot water. And it works really well on that nose hook rig because it's got to get through all of this vegetation, but you can also see all of the bait fish and the smaller things that dip and dart and dive out of this vegetation, and the Rattleworm 4.5 does a great job of doing that. Plus it has the rattle in the tail, which gives it a little bit of pop when you're twitching it through this vegetation. But it's the perfect, that tapered tail into that body with a rattle in it. It's just a perfect job. Now here it is on the 4/0 Texas rigged hook, and you can see it falls a lot faster. So if you want to get this out and let it fall down the edge, hook it up to a regular Texas rig. That nose hook slows it down. The Texas rig, on the other hand, is going to make that bait fall super quick. This is just a regular extra wide gap 4/0 hook. It's just going to make it fall faster. As Matt Allen on Tactical Bassin has said, I've went down a rabbit hole with this technique. Next up we have the Zoom Super Fluke, and as you can see, it falls a little bit faster than the Rattleworm, but it's still a very slow fall. You can twitch it through all this vegetation. It's going to come through there pretty much weedless. And the way that the nose hook, is great is you can fish it over top of slop that's inches. You can fish it over top of weeds that, are like a foot or two under the water, and it'll come through there clean, and it's going to slow fall. Plus, it's got a great hookup ratio. I never miss fish on a nose hook rig. It's just something that gives it a little bit more action and a little bit more neutral action on the fall, and a lot of times that's what fish are going to want, especially when the water is hot. And when that water is hot and everything is pushed up shallow, those fish are looking for an easy meal and they don't want to expend a lot of energy. Up next here we have that Zoom Super Fluke Texas rigged. As you can see, it speeds up the fall. So if fish are sitting in potholes, this is a great thing to throw. If you need a little bit extra weight to skip that up under docks, the Texas rig is also a good addition. But weedless or Texas rigged or nose hook, the Fluke is a great example of a pure reaction bite. You can see, that little bass in the background there getting super interested. All these fish sit in those potholes. They sit in these areas and they ambush stuff as it comes over top of the weeds. As it can't see, it reaches that next spot. Boom, right there, it's going to get nailed. Right, it comes over top of that and boom, it gets nailed. Up next we have the 4-inch Flatworm from Bait Cave Customs. And this bait literally is designed to be a drop shot bait, but it has a very neutral position and it has a good twitch with that tail on it. So I'm a big believer in finding baits that do many things well. This bait on the nose hook looks extremely well, and if fish are feeding on small bait fish, this is a great thing. It's got a nice tail kick and pop on that reaction, and it falls super slow through the column. And that's really what we're looking for, baits that can be fished in inches of water over top of vegetation, baits that can be fished in a reactive way. The tail on this bait gives it that ability and has that quick darting. Plus at 4 inches, it's about the right size. It's the same as that Rattleworm. It's the same as that Super Fluke. It's the right size. Here it is Texas rigged, and it almost has a Cinco style fall. If you watch it here, you know, skipped it up under a dock, bringing it back out. It has that nice quiver fall on it as it falls through the column. So if you want to get it a little bit deeper, you can Texas rig this bait. If the weeds are too much for the nose hook fluke, you can, you know, bring it back through there. But essentially, look at that side to side wobble, almost like a Cinco on that fall. And it's really a bait that can get you bit in a lot of great situations and great spots where bass might not necessarily eat something else. And when we're talking super warm water, we're talking about finesse tactics. We're really talking about trying to get those bass to eat anything, right? Because a lot of times when the water is really warm, they're eating at night, they're eating in short windows, and they're really keyed in onto a specific bite in the summertime. So a lot of the guys struggle in the late summer because of this. They throw traditional techniques at bass and it just won't catch them like that nose hook rig will, or that fluke style bait. Here, my favorite, you know, the Zoom trick worm, a constant in my tackle box. It does everything well. It looks exceedingly well on a nose hook. And I drop shotted this bait for a while, and I figured out that I would catch a lot of fish. As I was bringing it back to the boat, I would hop it and fish it aggressively. You can fish it weightless. The biggest bass that I ever caught on Chapman Lake came off of this rig right here, twitching it through the weeds up shallow this time of year. The fish was well north of 5 pounds in a lake that's known for 12 inches. So this is just a bait that gets bit no matter what, and you can let it fall in those potholes. Once again, those fish are going to ambush out of those situations. So here's a perfect ambush point right here. You have a sand spot, and those fish are going to sit with their tails into the weeds, and they're going to watch as stuff comes over top of that and it can't see down. They're going to rush up and ambush it. Here it is Texas rigged. If you want to get it a little bit deeper in the column, let it fall. It's got that nice that quiver on it, as that rig always does. The Zoom trick worm is just one of those baits that gets bit 24/7, 365, no matter the water conditions, no matter the water clarity. It's one of those baits that gets bit consistently for me all over the place. And the cool thing about the Texas rig, you can let it go to the bottom, hop it around there, flick it up, and let it fall back down. It's going to get bit in that situation. It does a great job for me of being a bite getter. You can get the bigger worms and do this, but you're not going to get as many bites. It's just one of those baits that does a consistently great job for me. So fishing shallow in the summer is all about finding potholes. It's about finding ambush points, and most importantly, it's really about presenting a lure in a way that bass want to see. So here, you know, I'm going to the windy side of the pond. I'm fishing super shallow. It's being oxygenated by the wind. I'm twitching it through there, letting it fall, twitching it through, letting it fall. Cadence on this is super important. Don't overwork the bait, right? See how I'm twitching it? It's not the springtime where I'm really popping it hard. I'm just trying to make this look like a sluggish bait fish coming through that water at the right time. And you can catch a lot of bass working this bait in this way. Don't overwork it. Just kind of slowly pick apart these shallow areas, these cover spots, let it fall into those holes, let those bass stalk it through the weeds, and then when it gets to a good ambush point, they're going to hit it. If you guys like what's going on the channel right now, give us a like, subscribe. Huge shout out to Vantage Tackle for sponsoring this video. Hit up those links in our bio, guys. Let us know in the comments what you want to see next time. It's been really fun. We are glad that you are with us today. Give us a like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.